Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A piece of poetry. A line of metrical text. Literature in metrical form. Compose verses or put into verse. Familiarize through thorough study or experience. She versed herself in Roman archaeology. A piece of poetry. Compose rhymes. Correspondence in the sounds of two or more lines, especially final sounds. Be similar in sound, especially with respect to the last syllable. Hat and cat rhyme. A line of metrical text. Literature in metrical form. Literature in metrical form. Any communication resembling poetry in beauty or the evocation of feeling. Compose verses or put into verse. Compose verses or put into verse. Compose verses or put into verse. A composition written in metrical feet forming rhythmical lines. A composition written in metrical feet forming rhythmical lines. A course of reasoning aimed at demonstrating a truth or falsehood. The methodical process of logical reasoning. I can't follow your line of reasoning. A slight depression or fold in the smoothness of a surface. His face has many lines. Mechanical system in a factory whereby an article is conveyed through sites at which successive operations are performed on it. A connected series of events or actions or developments. Historians can only point out those lines for which evidence is available. The road consisting of railroad track and roadbed. A conceptual separation or distinction. There is a narrow line between sanity and insanity. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A conductor for transmitting electrical or optical signals or electric power. The principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. He's not in my line of business. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Often plural, a means of communication or access. Lines of communication were set up between the two firms. The descendants of one individual. His entire lineage has been warriors. Space for one line of print, 1 column wide and 1/14 inch deep, used to measure advertising. A short personal letter. Drop me a line when you get there. A telephone connection. Be in line with, form a line along. Trees line the riverbank. The maximum credit that a customer is allowed. A particular kind of product or merchandise. A nice line of shoes. A pipe used to transport liquids or gases. A pipeline runs from the wells to the seaport. A commercial organization serving as a common carrier. Acting in conformity. In line with. A formation of people or things one behind another. The line stretched clear around the corner. A formation of people or things one beside another. The line of soldiers advanced with their bayonets fixed. A fortified position, especially one marking the most forward position of troops. They attacked the enemy's line. A length, straight or curved, without breadth or thickness, the trace of a moving point. A mark that is long relative to its width. He drew a line on the chart. A single frequency, or very narrow band, of radiation in a spectrum. A spatial location defined by a real or imaginary unidimensional extent. Cover the interior of. Line the gloves. Fill plentifully. Line one's pockets. In games or sports, a mark indicating positions or bounds of the playing area. Mark with lines. Sorrow had lined his face. Persuasive but insincere talk that is usually intended to deceive or impress. Let me show you my etchings as a rather worn line. Reinforce with fabric. Lined books are more enduring. Something, as a cord or rope, that is long and thin and flexible. A washing line. Text consisting of a row of words written across a page or computer screen. The letter consisted of 3 short lines. A style of expressing yourself in writing. An expressive style of music. A class of art, or artistic endeavor, having a characteristic form or technique. A kind of literary or artistic work. A style of expressing yourself in writing. A style of expressing yourself in writing. Produce a literary work. A correctional institution for those convicted of major crimes. Produce a literary work. A portable enclosure in which babies may be left to play. An enclosure for confining livestock. A writing implement with a point from which ink flows. Female swan. Communicate, with, in writing. Produce a literary work. Write or name the letters that comprise the conventionally accepted form of a word or part of a word. Write music. Record data on a computer. Communicate or express by writing. Create code. Write a computer program. She writes code faster than anybody else. Mark or trace on a surface. Make up plans or basic details for. Produce a literary work. She composed a poem. Put together out of existing material. Write music. Beethoven composed 9 symphonies. Calm, someone, especially oneself, make quiet. She had to compose herself before she could reply to this terrible insult. Form the substance of. Greed and ambition composed his personality. Make familiar or conversant with. We familiarized ourselves with the new surroundings. Make familiar or conversant with. You should acquaint yourself with your new computer. Cause to come to know personally. Permit me to acquaint you with my son. Inform. Please acquaint your colleagues of your plans to move. Make familiar or conversant with. A witty satiric verse containing 2 rhymed couplets and mentioning a famous person. The president is George W. Bush, who is happy to sit on his tush, while sending his armies to fight, for anything he thinks is right, is a clarihue. A humorous verse form of 5 anapestic lines with a rhyme scheme ABBA. Port City in southwestern Ireland. A comic verse of irregular measure. He had heard some silly doggerel that kept running through his mind. A comic verse of irregular measure. Make a sound typical of metallic objects. A metallic sound. The jingle of coins. A comic verse of irregular measure. A verse line having 8 metrical feet. A verse line having 10 syllables. A verse line having 5 metrical feet. A verse line with a dactyl followed by a spondee or trochee, supposedly used in laments by Adonis. Having a rhythm consisting of a dactyl followed by a spondee or a trochee. Or relating to or like Adonis. A verse line having 4 metrical feet.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.